The night was quiet. Too quiet. A small town, asleep under heavy clouds, when the phone line stirred. A voice crackled through, thin, shaking, almost not human. "Hello?" Silence followed, then breathing. Slow, uneven, like something was listening instead of speaking. The dispatcher leaned closer, whispering, "Can you state your emergency?" But what answered wasn't a person. It was laughter. Low, hollow, echoing through the line, as if from a place no one should ever hear. The dispatcher froze, her hand hovering above the console. That laugh, it wasn't natural. Too distorted, too stretched, like metal grinding against itself. "Sir, ma'am, I need you to speak clearly," she managed. The line hissed, static crawling like whispers. Then, faintly, words formed. "It's already inside." The dispatcher's heart skipped. "Inside where?" she pressed. But the voice was gone, replaced by silence so heavy it felt alive. Only the faint scrape of something. Claws, maybe dragging closer to the phone. The silence stretched too long. Then, shuffling, a thud. The phone clattering against the floor. The dispatcher leaned forward, straining, every nerve on edge. A child's cry broke through, faint, trembling. "Mommy, it's in the hallway." The dispatcher's blood ran cold. She called out, louder now, "Stay on the line! Police are coming!" But the sound of slow, dragging steps echoed closer, heavier, like something walking without breath. The child whimpered again, the voice fading. "It sees me." Then nothing. Just the deep, wet sound of breathing that wasn't human. The dispatcher gripped the headset tighter, her voice shaking now. "Hello? Can you hear me? Stay with me!" But the line was swallowed in static. Then a sharp hiss, like air leaking from a broken pipe. Somewhere in the distance came a low growl, stretched and hollow, vibrating the line itself. Papers rattled on her desk as if the sound had weight. Then a whisper, soft but clear, layered with voices that weren't the child's. "It's already inside." The dispatcher shot up from her chair, heart racing, eyes darting to the shadows in her own office. As if the call wasn't coming from miles away, but from just behind her. The silence on the line deepened, heavy and unnatural, until a faint tapping began. 1, 2, 3, slow and deliberate, like fingers on glass. Then the boy's voice returned, weaker now, trembling. "It's in the hallway." His breath hitched, muffled as though he'd covered the phone with his hand. The dispatcher leaned forward, whispering into her mic, "Don't move, don't speak, help is on the way." But her own words echoed back, distorted, repeating in a voice that wasn't hers, lower, harsher. "Help is too late." The room around her felt colder, her reflection in the dark window flickering with something that wasn't her face. The boy whimpered again, his voice barely a thread. "It's standing at the door." The dispatcher froze, pen clutched so tightly it snapped in her hand. Through the line, she could hear faint, creaking wood, the groan of floorboards under weight. Though the boy had stopped moving. "Stay quiet," she whispered, forcing calm. stay hidden. But then a sound slithered through the static. A deep, rasping breath, too close, too heavy to be the boy's. The line carried it, as though the creature itself leaned against the phone. For a heartbeat, no one spoke. Then a scrape, like nails, dragging slowly across the wall. The dispatcher's voice trembled now, though she fought to keep it steady. "You're not alone. I promise. Help is on the way." The boy exhaled, shaky, almost a sob. "It's closer." The silence between words felt heavier than the sound itself. Then the phone picked up a faint thump, deliberate, slow, like footsteps but wrong, dragging too long against the floor. The boy muffled a cry, covering the receiver with his hand, but the static carried something else, a low hum, guttural, as if someone, or something, was breathing in rhythm with him. The dispatcher closed her eyes, whispering to herself. "Hold on, hold on," the boy whispered again, barely audible. "It's in the hallway." The sound of wood creaking followed, every step dragging closer, heavier. The dispatcher tightened her grip on the headset, her nails digging into her palm. "Stay hidden, don't move, stay quiet." Her voice cracked, though she tried to mask it. Then the phone caught a new sound, something metallic, scratching slowly across the wall, long and piercing, like claws tracing wood. The boy whimpered, "It knows I'm here." For a moment, both ends of the line fell into silence, except for the unnatural hiss, breathing through the receiver. Closer. Loud. The dispatcher's voice trembled now. "Listen to me. Help is coming. Just a little longer." But the boy didn't answer right away. Instead, there was a faint thud, like something heavy pressing against the door where he hid. His breath came fast, shallow, terrified. It's right outside," he finally whispered. Then came 3 slow knocks, hollow, deliberate. The line carried the sound so vividly it felt like the thing itself was on the call. "Don't open it, whatever you do," the dispatcher urged, her tone rising, desperate. The boy whimpered again, and then silence. A silence that stretched far too long. The dispatcher's voice cracked. "Are you still there? Say something, please." A faint inhale came through, followed by the boy's voice, almost broken. "It's whispering my name." Static hissed, as though the line itself resisted carrying those words. The dispatcher, fighting panic, begged, "Stay with me, don't listen to it, just focus on my voice." But the boy's whisper returned, softer, trembling. "It sounds like my dad. But my dad's not here." The sound of scratching claws against the wooden door bled into the line, each scrape deeper than the last, as though carving its way closer. The dispatcher gripped the headset tighter, her tone sharp but urgent. "Listen to me. Don't open the door. Don't move. Just stay quiet." The boy whimpered. It's calling me closer. It says it knows me." His breathing grew fast, uneven, like he was fighting the pull of something unseen. Then a loud thump rattled the call. The boy gasped. It's right outside." The dispatcher's voice rose, firm but desperate. "Help is on the way. Just hold on. Keep talking to me." The boy's last words in that moment, low, trembling. It smiled at me, through the crack. The silence after his words was unbearable, broken only by the faint hiss of static. The dispatcher leaned closer to her screen, whispering almost to herself, "Stay with me, stay with me." Then, another sound, faint but chilling, a dragging noise, slow, deliberate, like claws scraping across wood. The boy whispered, voice so thin it was almost lost, "It's inside. I didn't open anything." His breath hitched. The phone crackled, as if the line itself struggled under the weight of what was near him. The dispatcher's voice cracked now. "No, no, don't stop talking. Please don't stop." The boy's whisper trembled. "It's looking at me." His words cut like glass, fragile and final. The dispatcher swallowed hard, forcing calm. "Don't move. Just stay very still. Help is almost there." But in the background, the sound grew, low, guttural, almost inhuman. A moan, mixed with the rasp of breath, shifting closer. The boy whimpered, "It's Shadow, it's on the wall." Static cracked, the line fluttering, as though the call itself resisted the horror leaking through it. The dispatcher's heart hammered as she repeated, "Stay with me, just a little longer. Hold on." A sudden crash jolted through the line. The boy gasped sharply, then silence. Long, crushing silence. The dispatcher leaned forward, voice urgent. "Hello? Can you hear me? Are you safe?" For a breathless second, nothing. Then, faint, a whisper slithered back. "It knows you're listening." The dispatcher froze, every nerve burning. This wasn't just fear in a child's voice. There was something else, something watching through the call itself. She tried again, softer this time. "We're almost there. Hold on." But the whisper didn't fade. It grew, as if another voice had joined the boy's, echoing from the dark. The echoing voice twisted, overlapping the boy's trembling words. "You can't stop it." The dispatcher's grip tightened on the headset, chills crawling her spine. She forced authority into her voice. "Stay calm. Officers are just down the street. You're not alone." But the boy's cry cracked through, higher now, raw with terror. "It's in the hallway." Behind him, the sound of dragging, slow, deliberate, something heavy scraping against wood. The call pulsed with static, as though the line itself was being pulled into that house. The dispatcher whispered under her breath, "Dear God, what is in there?" Sirens wailed faintly in the distance, a thread of hope cutting through the suffocating tension. The dispatcher clung to it, urging, "Hold on, they're almost there. Just keep your eyes closed. Don't look at it." But the boy's voice trembled. "It doesn't need me to look. It's already here." A thud shook the line, followed by the shriek of wood splintering. And then, silence. Heavy, endless silence. The dispatcher's breath hitched, every second stretching into eternity. Then faintly, a sound returned, dragging again, but slower now, paired with a faint wetness, as if something was being pulled away. The dispatcher's knuckles turned white around the phone, her voice barely steady. "Hello? Please answer me. Please." Static hissed. Then the boy's voice broke through, weak, fading. "Don't let it take me." His words dissolved into a choked sob. The dragging stopped. For a moment, there was nothing but the sound of faint breathing, low and unnatural, so close it seemed to be pressed against the receiver. The dispatcher whispered into the silence. "Help is right outside. Just hold on." But the breath on the line shifted, deeper, heavier, as if something else had picked up the call. The officers reported pulling up to the house, their radios crackling in the dispatcher's ear. She exhaled relief, telling them, "Front door, child inside, hurry!" But before the words left her mouth, the call twisted into something grotesque. The boy's voice returned, but stretched, warped, as though played from a broken machine. "Too late. Too late." The dispatcher froze, listening as the line filled with a low, guttural laughter that was not the boy's. The officers. Footsteps pounded toward the door, splintering it open, and yet, through the headset, the laughter grew louder, closer, as though it was bleeding out into her own room. A dispatcher ripped the headset slightly from her ear, but the sound still crawled through, low and vibrating, as if the call had sunk its claws into the very wires. Officers inside. A radio voice crackled, strained. "House is empty. No child. No one here." Her stomach dropped. She stared at the blinking line, still open, still alive. A whisper returned, soft but sharp. "I told you, it knows you're listening." Her breath faltered. For the first time in her career. She wanted to hang up, to sever the line, but she couldn't, because the call refused to end. The officers swept room after room, their voices rising in confusion. No signs of struggle, no child, no blood. Yet in the dispatcher's ear, the boy whimpered again, softer than before. "Please, don't let it take me back." Her hands trembled. She pressed every button, tried every command, but the call stayed open, alive, breathing. The final words slithered through the static, layered with that same unnatural breath. "Now it's your turn." And then the line went dead. The dispatcher sat frozen, headset still warm, knowing some calls never end. They only wait to be answered again. The phone call fades into silence, but the echoes of that night never leave. Every detail, the trembling voice, the fragmented words, the fear that spilled through the line, remains locked in the recordings. Decades have passed, theories have multiplied, and investigators have chased countless trails. Yet the truth hides in shadows, as if daring us to find it. Was this call the desperate cry of innocence, or a carefully crafted mask to mislead forever? And more importantly, do you believe the truth is buried in what we've already heard, or is it still waiting to be uncovered?